Hello everyone, my name is Caden K from Hide and Seek, and welcome to a brand new video. As usual, grab your blanket and grab your snacks and get comfortable because today we're going into the urban legend, creepy pasta, horror story type thing. Okay, we're just going to be looking at the Rake because I think this is cool. It's super popular when I was in middle school and I want to look into it. So that's what we're talking about today. So yeah, alright, let's hop in. So the first question that comes to mind when discussing this is, well, what is the Rake? Everyone's seen, the pictures and stuff like that and what the Rake looks like, but what is the Rake genuinely? Well, the Rake has had an internet presence from around 2003 to 2006, initially being popped up on 4chan. But in terms of the true origins of the Rake, it dates back to the 1600s. It's super long ago. It's described as this humanoid type figure, all gray, black eyes, relatively hollow, sleek skin, just humanoid, on all fours. It just looks like an alien, essentially. That's just the best way to describe it. Looks like an alien. The Rake does a really good job of catching its predators simply because of the way it's built. It's running on all fours, so it allows it to track prey relatively easily. It's very fast, it's very agile, it's very smart, it's intimidating. The claws that the Rake has makes it very easy to dig into prey, kill whatever it needs to when it needs to. The thing is just adept. The thing knows how to survive. It knows how to get things done. It knows how to eat. Thing is just built different, essentially. Okay, I know a little bit about it now. What else can I get out of him? Well, what else is interesting about him? What does he do? The Rake tends to fall into two categories, frankly. The Rake is cited as being very curious. It's often wanting to learn about the things around itself. It's wanting to investigate. It's wanting to just seek out things and look into things. But on the other hand, it's also evil and will tear you apart at any instant if it decides to. So it's kind of on a day-by-day basis. It's like the Rake wakes up out of bed and is like, all right, well, today's a Sunday, time to go kill people. And then, he wakes up on Monday morning and then it's just like, all right, well, I'm gonna just go look at some stuff. The Rake is still dangerous regardless, so you don't want to test the limits and be like, well, maybe he has a good day. Let's go see him. Let's go try to pursue him. Maybe it'll be a good day. Just no, obviously, because it's on the day-by-day basis. You don't know how he's going to act. So why would you want to take the risk anyway? It seems like that would be very counterproductive. It's not smart. So yeah, let's just not risk getting killed by the Rake today, shall we? There's many sorts of different sightings for the Rake. Sometimes he's seen in the foot of your bed. Sometimes he's seen deep out in the wilderness. Sometimes he's seen at the dead of night in a city. Its actions are very random. There seems to be no daily ritual type things that happen. There's no consistency. There's no repetition in the way that it acts. It just does so randomly. It does so as it wants to. Okay, well, I know what the Rake is. I know what it does. How do I get this thing away from me? Now that is an interesting question. You see, the Rake is not necessarily like some of the other urban legends there are. Like with the slit-mouthed woman, just throw her some hard candy, she'll get out of your face. It's done. Easy peasy. We're done. We don't need to deal with her anymore. With the Rake, a lot of the people that encounter the Rake don't necessarily survive. They don't make it. So it's very hard to place, all right, well, here's X, Y, and Z on what you do. One of the most common things that's with the Rake is that it only comes out at night. It spends most of the day inside. It's wanting to be away from the sun. So there is a very common belief that some sort of UV light or anything pertaining to light in general will often get it to go away. I don't know too much in terms of how it's been tested. I don't know if people have flicked a flashlight on it and it's ran off and okay, well, this is how we do it. Because I mean, a lot of the people that have encountered the Rake tend to not make it. They don't survive. So it's very hard to say, well, this is how you do it, because there's been a very minimal cases on the people that have survived encountering the Rake. So it's kind of hard to say, what you do. For this next segment, I kind of want to read a little bit into people that have survived encounters with the Rake, just so that you can kind of get into the mind of the So that way you can kind of get into the mind of the people that have encountered this dangerous and scary figure and what they did and like what happened. A suicide note, 1964. As I prepare to take my life, I feel it necessary to remove any guilt or pain I've introduced through this act. It is not in the fault of anyone other than him. For once I awoke and felt his presence, and once I awoke and saw his form. Once again I awoke and heard his voice and looked into his eyes. I cannot sleep without fear of what I might next awake to experience. I cannot ever wake. Goodbye. Found in the same envelope were 2 empty envelopes addressed to William and Rose, and 1 loose personal letter with no envelope. Dearest Lenny, I have prayed for you. He spoke your name. A journal entry, translated from Spanish, 1880. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I see his eyes when I close mine. They are hollow, black. They saw me and pierced me. His wet hand. I will not sleep. His voice. A miner's log, 1691. He came to me in my sleep. From the foot of my bed I felt a sensation. He took everything. We must return to England. We shall not return here again at the request of the Rake. So, yeah, it seems like a lot of the people that are around the Rake tend to either not survive, get super, like, mentally messed up. Yeah, there's no other thing. It's just either of the two. They either die or they're, like, all mentally deranged. The Rake is arguably one of the most popular creepypastas or urban legends that have come about in recent history. The Rake was definitely very big when like Slender Man and Jeff the Killer were, on the rise and everyone was talking about them and stuff like that. The Rake is arguably in that tier. The Rake is very popular. It seems like no matter what, you're going to hear some story about the Rake. You're going to see something about the Rake. And, it's just very common to see him or hear about him. Now, is the Rake real or fake? That's something that we don't necessarily know. It's something that makes people think, though. It's something that keeps people up at night. It's something that makes us question the validity of things that are around us. This might be an urban legend for some or some sort of myth to another, but for some people, it's very real, and they've had their own experiences with it. So, where do you fall? Is this real? Is it fake? Let me know. Woo! That was fun. God, I love the Rake so much. Genuinely one of my favorite creepypastas out there. I remember in like middle school reading it, like freaking myself up and staying up until like 2 a.m. just like, the Rake and dude, Jeff the Killer and Slenderman and I used to watch like Marble Hornets and stuff like that, which is more Slenderman based, but it still fell into the same like Slenderman, Rake, creepypasta like type stuff. So cool. God, the Rake is genuinely one of my favorite things to cover. I love the Rake. I love learning about the Rake or reading people's stories or hearing about it. It's just so cool. I love the Rake. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the video, why not like and subscribe? It definitely helps me out. If you didn't, why not dislike and let me know what I can improve on for next time. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all in the next one.